Hey all, it's Paul and Natasha from Nomadic-AF, and today we're going to talk about skiplagging, which a lot of travel influencers are kind of pushing on their social media feeds like TikTok and YouTube.
It's kind of a controversial
It's very
thing.
controversial. Thing is, this travel hack is such a bad idea, and people are really just starting to find out how bad it is. I mean, there's
Yeah.
some very dire
We'll
consequences.
talk about like why people would want to do it and the consequences that they could potentially be facing by doing it later.
Later on. But right now, let's just talk about real quick what skiplagging is. Skiplagging is buying a two-legged ticket, with a layover,
with a layover.
and then never going past the layover.
Yeah,
You know what I
getting
mean?
off at your layover and not getting on the second plane.
So you can see I went on to try to buy some tickets, and the price for the direct flight,
just to test the theory.
just to test the theory to see how easy it was, and it is. Like, the flight with the layover is always cheaper than the direct flight.
That's
So
crazy.
people are just buying a flight with a layover, getting off at the layover and going to their destination, never taking their second flight.
So there are potential, like, in people's brains, a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, it is a good idea because it could be a good idea because it's less expensive to buy a layover and then just not take the second leg. And also, let's say your direct flight leaves at 5 in the morning or at 10 at night and you can't travel, or just an inopportune time.
Yeah.
Whereas this flight with a layover has better hours and you can just get off at your leisure and your layover and just stop the flight, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's cheaper, it's more convenient, but it's a very bad idea that we're going to get into.
It's risky.
It's very risky, and the consequences could be quite long term.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So even though it's cheaper and it might be more convenient for some people, it's just a real bad idea. Airlines they absolutely hate it.
Hate skiplagging for sure, but we're not on the airline side here. I mean, who cares about a billion-dollar company? But
No, I mean, the airlines constantly screw people over, constantly.
yeah, so we're not doing this for the airlines to save them money or whatever. We're doing it for you because you could have some very serious consequences, and airlines hate this new phenomenon of skiplagging.
Yeah, airlines just absolutely hate it because it costs them a lot of money. First of all, they're not. Oh no, gracias.
Gracias, señor.
No, gracias,
Lots of
amigo.
it.
Gracias.
Gracias.
I lost my train of thought. It costs them money because they're losing money on the overpriced direct ticket.
Right.
It screws up their forecasting because they think all these people are going to a certain city, so they invest money
Into booking
more flights to that city,
routine.
and nobody's going. I
Yeah.
mean, if only one or two people do it one or two times, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, so airlines hate skiplagging because it causes all kinds of logistical problems with delayed flights and waiting for passengers to show up that aren't gonna show up.
Right. And they buy the gas to put on the plane based on the weight of the plane, which includes the people in the bags. So they've already over-purchased the fuel for that flight. They stopped selling tickets on that flight, right? They stopped
Yeah.
overbooking that flight because they think this person's going to be there. Now there's an empty seat where there shouldn't have been an empty seat.
Yeah, so they're losing money on that too.
Yeah.
There's just a whole ton of reasons that
Hola,
airlines
buenas.
hate these. Hola, ¿cómo está?
Oh, yeah, sí, hay
es
mucho
calor,
caminino.
sí.
No necesito. Oh, yeah, sí, tengo solo agua aquí. No, hoy no.
Eso es todo.
No necesito nada. Muchísimas gracias.
Tengo un bonito
Otro día.
día.
Gracias.
Suertes.
And
Yeah, there's just a ton of reasons that airlines hate this.
not to mention, they
skiplagging.
gave freaking flyer miles out for that leg of the journey that wasn't even taken.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I just read recently too that someone got a bill
Yeah, right.
for all
So,
that.
again, we don't want to take the airline side on this because fuck them. I mean, they screw us over constantly. These are the excuses they use to justify punishing people for skiplagging, and they are punishing them now.
Yeah, they'll punish you just to make an example.
Oh
out
yeah,
of
just to
you.
make an example of you. So to combat this skiplagging, and this is a lot of things these TikTok or these travel influencers don't tell you, is airlines invest millions of dollars in data analytics, right?
Yeah.
They know everything that's going on,
They
and
know what you're doing.
they know exactly what you're doing. And if TikTok travel influencer tells you this is a good idea.
And to do all this, you just got to book your next flight using Skiplagged. Skiplagged is going to save you hundreds of dollars on your next flight. And
They don't know dick. They don't know what how the airlines are finding out you're doing it. And
Yeah, there's a lot of ways that they're punishing people for this skip lagging. For example, they're canceling your frequent flyer miles.
all of them, all your accrued ones, they're canceling.
Exactly.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
even charging your credit card for the total of
The difference in cost that you should have paid. They're
Yeah.
going to charge back your credit. Also banning people from their airlines. Like they found a kid skip lagging, and they straight up banned him from the airlines.
Yeah, they're also not letting people board flights if they are suspected
Yep.
as being potential skip laggers.
If they go through their data and they found out you've skip lagged 1 or 2 times, they might not even let you on the plane in the airport. And they have the law on their side because the terms of service that you agreed to.
Yeah, you click that little checkbox and you don't read
That
it.
nobody reads, yeah.
Another thing that airlines are doing to combat this skip lagging phenomenon is if they think you are going to do it, they will make you check your bag.
Yeah,
which
so-
means your bag goes to the final destination whether you do or not.
And they are not going to go out of their way to get you your bag back. And another way they're punishing people is if you bought a round trip flight the same way, you're going to skip lag both ways, and you skip lag the first round trip flight, they're canceling your return flight.
Yeah.
They're not just canceling it, they're keeping your money because you violated their terms of service.
Yeah.
And like these multi-billion dollar corporations, they have lawyers on retainer. They don't have anything better to do than to fuck with people, right?
Yeah, and these travel influencers make it seem like it's so possible to do all this stuff and break all these rules and this and that and the
If you're
other.
interested, I can definitely do more in depth on Skiplagged. I've gotten great deals through them. I think I've flown to San Francisco for maybe $33.
In reality, people are getting punished for it, and
Right.
whether it happens to them or not, it could still
Well,
happen to
and
you.
the thing is, these skip lagging travel influencers that give these hacks, they've probably never even done it before. This is a keyword that's trending. They create a video about it, like we are,
Yeah.
but they're creating a pro skip lagging video without understanding the consequences that these people are suffering, and they don't care.
At their hands,
At their
yeah.
hands. They want the views, they want the dollars, and they don't care what happens to you. I mean, the airlines are bad enough, they're screwing people over bad enough, but these influencers are really knowingly screwing you over by promoting
Yeah, I
this.
mean, it's just ridiculous. You're gonna miss a part of your trip because you did this thing that a travel influencer told you to do, when in reality, just follow the rules.
Yeah, they're not that hard, and to save $50 and miss your grandma's funeral is not really worth it.
Not worth
So, all right, so let's get into some real world consequences here. I mean, it's like I say, who cares about the airlines, right? They charge us $75 for a freaking checked bag, and why shouldn't we try to scam them out of something, right? But like I say, if you do it at your own risk, because these real world consequences are not just flukes. They're doing this to everybody they find skip lagging. So
Yeah, for example, American Airlines.
hola, buenas. Oh, no, gracias.
Gracias, buen día. American Airlines, for example, just canceled this guy's flight, made him buy a whole new flight, and banned him from ever being on American Airlines for a whole 3 years because he was trying to skip lag. He was going from Gainesville to New York with a layover in Charlotte, and when he went to check in, they saw his ID was North Carolina based, and they questioned him about it, and
He's like, oh yeah.
yeah, I'm getting off at Charlotte. So he caused a whole slew of problems for himself by doing this when he could have just booked from Gainesville to Charlotte.
Okay, another one is United. They went through and they hired this company to go through and analyze a bunch of their data, specifically looking for skipjacking. And they found this dude who had did it like 30 times in the past, right?
Yeah.
Which legally violated their terms of service. So they sent him a bill for all of the flights,
Oh
right?
my
For what it
God.
should have cost him to fly directly. And he's on for that money. Like he has
And
no
like
legal.
you said, they have a team of lawyers behind them. What's he gonna do?
What's he gonna do? And it'll ruin his credit. It could ruin his prospects for a job if he gets sued and loses this.
Yeah.
I mean, these are some real serious consequences that these people are seeing.
Yeah, another real world example of people getting screwed over with this skip lagging is this guy from Lufthansa, the airline, found out that he was doing it so much, and he just went from Oslo to Seattle, and instead of going all the way to Seattle, he got off at where he was supposed to, and they straight up sent him a bill for like $2,000 because of the money that he saved,
Yeah.
and they lost. It's
What-
still in court, actually.
It's still in court. They lost on a technicality. They just didn't file it in the right wherever they needed to file this lawsuit. So they're still going to sue him. I mean, he's still like, I don't know if anybody's ever been sued before, but the money and time this takes over a $2,000 bill is considerably more than $2,000.
Yeah, and like you said 1,000 times, these airlines have lawyers on retainer, and you don't.
You don't.
So-
They don't care how much money it costs
Yeah.
to recoup their $2,000. They'll
Yeah.
spend $100,000 to recoup that $2,000.
Yeah, one last real world example, and this is an entire website that's been sued. I mean, this website has been sued several times, like dozens probably, but on this last one, they had to settle for $9.4 million
For selling Skiplagged tickets.
for selling Skiplagged tickets. Because it violates the terms and conditions of the airlines in which they were selling tickets for.
And this was a big lawsuit for the airlines. They spent millions. So what they won isn't near what they spent on the lawsuit.
Yeah,
so
but they don't care.
They don't care. This is why we're trying to make this. Is all these influencers are telling you, and one even says, go to skiplagged.com to buy your
Tell
ticket.
everyone about Skiplagged. Skiplagged.com. Go use it. Do what they don't want you to do.
And he made this video recently,
Yeah.
and he does not give a shit how much trouble you get in for using it. He's being paid by skiplagged.com to promote their website.
Yeah.
So you can't ever listen to these travel influencers. They do not have your best interest at heart.
Yeah. Yeah, so these are definitely some things to think about before you start doing any of these skip lagging tips and
Gracias.
tricks. I mean, is the $50 you save really going to be worth it when you can get sued or lose your airline miles or any
Or
of that?
be banned from the airline.
And again, we are not advocating for the airlines.
We don't care less. I could care less about this big corporation. It's
Yeah.
what pisses me off is these travel influencers making money screwing over screwing over travelers. So it's just
Yeah.
really not worth it in the long run. If you see anybody promoting skip lagging,
Just
like
be
on
aware.
TikTok, be aware that they're after views.
It might not be worth it.
It probably won't be. So good luck out there, and
Till
late.
next time.